Oh boy, are we going? Am I live? I think I'm live. Ah, my camera's not working. Why is my camera not working? I know it is, that's fine. Ah. Right then. Right then. Is there anyone here is the big question. Or am I on my own? Not sure how to get the... Excellent. I can go there. I can go there. Oh, what a day. What an absolute day. Time to just forget about it all and paint some minis. If I had one, paint some there. Alright, we've got these two already painted, if anyone's interested. One Noise Marine here, and the second one here. I think I'm going to move on to do one of the Tormentors. Or is he an Infractor? I can never remember which one's which, but here we go. I could be here on my own all day, but it doesn't really matter. Always struggle to figure out where this is. There you go. That's the champion. What are we going to do? Let's do... Is this focusing? Yeah. Probably really shouldn't be starting with the black. I should really do the trim first. And in fact, I think I'm going to change. Let's get this on. Let it dry. Nice thin layers, as they always say. Let's actually do the gold. First, do the trim first. If I make a mistake, I'm going to tidy it up. Okay. load of paint on there. Never really worry about any little mistakes this early on. The question is, how do I see the chat? Is anyone there? Am I on my own? Be there in a second. Stop painting Snappereka Ventus Cone. Well, yes, I've already done that. That's uploaded, and well, it will be going live at midnight tonight. I mean, I could put it live now if I really wanted to, but no need to put it out live yet, is there? I think I've figured out how to see the chat at the same time, so if there is anything you want to know, whether it's about the Snappereka event or anything else, just feel free to ask. I mean, the Snappereka event is actually quite a fun event, although you do have to be careful because Snappereka likes to hurt himself whenever he shoots. So bear that in mind if you're going to do it without getting any hints from me to begin with. Every shot Snappereka does will damage him, so you'll almost always want Gibberscraps there with him. There are levels or missions I should say, where you won't be using Gibberscraps because of the restrictions, but there's other ways to get Snappereka healed on those missions. Oh, big splodge, that's not very good, is it? And it's always when I'm painting, I always end up seeing, oh look, lovely mould line there, which I completely missed when I was putting these things together. So this arm will definitely be going black to hide that monstrosity of a mould line. But the reason why I'm doing this is I'm desperately trying to get these guys painted. Did I see the Mini of the Month? There's also, yes, they always do that, Numazuki. So what happens is they have a release, and then the next month it's the model, or a model from that release, which is the Mini of the Month. So the one before this was Imperial Guard. I don't know what they're going to do next, because it's both World Eaters and Death Guard. Did Lucius get a new model? Oh yes, I'll get onto that in a second. He's a lovely model. So yeah, next mini of the month is probably going to be a choice of the two, and it's a pattern they've followed for the longest of times. But having said that, they're probably going to change now, aren't they? And yes, the Lucius model. I haven't got it myself. It's only just been released. If you had it on pre-order, you could have picked it up, but I didn't. I was foolish enough not to get in contact with my friendly local store and say, can you put it aside for me? So I missed out on him, unfortunately. Mind you, I'm not really one. Well, I say that. When I use my Tyranids, I do use epic characters, but I'm not so enthralled by the epic characters for normal guys. Although, having said that, I do like... and now I can't remember his name. Fabius Bile. Fabulous Bill. And that's on my buy list. If I see him, I'm going to pick him up. And I'll probably end up painting him on here as well. But yeah, Lucius's new model is absolutely fantastic. It's got a long tongue, big sword, massive whip. And yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Fulgrim is also a great model. I'm just not a fan of his face, unfortunately. I mean, the Horus Heresy version of him is so much better. However, it's so much more expensive as well. So I won't be getting him. But Lucius is, maybe. He can always act as a... I can't remember what the leaders are called now, but one of these guys. I haven't finished putting this one together yet. He's missing his head. Lord Exultant, there you go. I managed to remember it in the end. But yeah, I can imagine Lucius being a Lord Exultant. And of course, it would be really good if one day they come to Tacticus. But my favourite models at the moment, and probably the whole reason I went into the Emperor's Children, are these guys, the Noise Marines. Absolutely fell in love with their models. They kind of got rid of the guitar mode. Well, they have. It's not as obviously guitar-like as it used to be. It's still there, but just not as blatant. God, this one's... Something I've learned from putting these ones together is put the backpack on after you've painted it and put them together, because it gets in the way. But that'll be for the next lot that I've got to paint up, because I've only put together half of the box at the moment. And I haven't actually played a game with these guys yet. But hopefully that'll be remedied soon. And I can start losing. I mean winning. Although I'll be honest, losing's probably more accurate. As you can see, I'm being a bit sloppy, unfortunately. But that's why I do the trim first. It's easy to be a bit sloppy on the trim, and then tidy up as you fill in between, because it's naturally raised. So when I'm doing the bits in between the trim, doesn't. Well, personally, I don't find it spills over so much. Ooh, I might do that. I'm going to do all that gold. Here's Lord Exultant. Just that bit. Alright, let's do it all. Not Lord Exultant, he's the leader, isn't he, of the unit. Obsessionist, I think they call him. Yeah. Gotta like the gold and purple. So I'm basing this on, I said this on a previous stream, but just in case people have missed it or are interested, I'm basing this on the Children of Torment. So you've got your black, your purple, and your gold. So I've never really... Hey, Pins. Yeah, I wish it was Emperor's Children as well, but I suppose they've got to space out the Chaos ones. There's only so many Chaos, whereas they seem to add a new... Well, others very quickly indeed. Mind you, there's, plenty of factions to fill in, just not many Chaos ones. Unless, of course, they put in Demons separately. But we'll find out who the new faction is soon enough, I'm sure. Right. How are we looking? So we've got a bit there. That's going to be silver. Arm, shoulder. Oop, down there. I've lost what I was going to do. I'm trying to keep an eye on chat and paint at the same time. No idea how I'm ever going to do this if this gets popular. But hopefully I'll get better and be easier to do. There's been no official announcement on who the new faction is. But as soon as we do know and have an official word, I will be obviously covering those characters as they appear. I still need to do the next Dark Angel. Probably early next week for him, I'd say. First founding? Do you mean like... I'm not sure what you mean by that, because we got the Ultramarines, they were first founding, weren't they? Sweet. Oh, some not first founding. Oh, so you mean like the... what do they call them? The subsequent chapters that came after the heresy, but like split off from... Yeah, I mean, people like their Marines, so any reason to have more Marines, people will be happy about. How was I doing these bolters? I want silver. Where did they say? They haven't said it. I think they've only said about there have been content creators who've done something on the Dark Angel. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. Haven't actually done it yet. But the final Dark Angel is coming. And I must admit, I quite like the Dark Angel, so I'm kind of hoping, as I said, I've not really looked into him yet. I'm kind of hoping he fills in the gap where the Dark Angels is severely lacking at the moment. No, that's not paint. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping whoever it is will actually bring the Dark Angels together as a team. I've had someone in my guild, I can't remember his name offhand, who's been asking me to do a Dark Angels review like I've done all the other ones. And I've always said, well, when the last one's out and we see the synergy, I will. So I'll have to live up to that promise. Yeah, the Dark Angels have been having to... Well, they haven't been receiving much love, but now, that final one, maybe they have. I can hope. I must say, the Dark Angels are probably my favourite good, in quotes, good guys. Just because of their whole Fallen part and Cypher and... Now that'd be a nice little addition. Let's get Cypher in the game. Problem is, where would he go? Could you put him in the Dark Angels faction, or would you end up putting him under the Black Legion? That can go silver. Bottle. Because I don't think you could have a faction just for Cypher, no matter how interesting he is. I think you'd have to tag on to an existing one. Trying to remember, there is a red not Blood Angels. There is a red Space Marine faction, Blood Ravens, which was in the Dawn of War. Was it Blood Ravens? But I guess there could well be IP issues around them. Because the way they made them out, they were fairly intriguing. Well, they were psycho heavy. But maybe it was the Dawn of War that made them more interesting than they would have otherwise have been. That was a cracking game. Can't believe I missed that bit around there. Oh well, I'll do that in a second. Thanks, Sebby. And welcome. Feel free to put up a chair, start painting yourself, or just ask questions. I will. Well, I'm not going to answer any question. Some things I'm not allowed to say anything about. But I'll answer what I can. Or if you want to paint, let us know what you're painting. Or if you're playing games, computer games. Because one of the games I've been playing recently, I'm sure you've all heard of it, which is Blue Prince, which is kind of like a roguelite. I'm going to say puzzle, but well, I suppose there are plenty of puzzles in it. But my word, that can take some time. There's a lot in there to go through and really digest. I've got to go back to Assassin's Creed. I haven't finished that yet. But what I'm really looking forward to, and I'm hoping that we'll find out more about it soon, is Mechanicum 2. I quite enjoyed Mechanicum when that was released. So I can't see why Mechanicum 2 won't really hit the spot. Maybe we'll get those Blood Ravens one day in another game. Because I don't know if the company that did Dawn of War is still active. Been a long time if they are. And if they don't, I'm guessing Games Workshop would own the IP. Maybe. It's on screen, is it in shot? I'm using my phone here to try and keep things, so let me know if it goes blurry or anything. Probably need to invest in a proper camera at some point, but I'm going to see if this takes off first. That's actually any idea what projects might be. It's been greyed out since the very beginning. I really wish I knew. If I had to have a guess, I mean, we've had the Machines of War, and as I said, it is a pure guess because nothing, to my knowledge, has been said about what projects are. I would say it'd be something like building a Titan to use in Guild Wars or something, which would be kind of cool. Get your buff, choose which Titan you're going to build in between the two Guild Wars. And you then get that as a buff for the next Guild War. And then everyone can choose between whichever Titans that the guild as a whole maybe has unlocked, again, through projects. And a bit like how we choose the Machine of War, we could choose the Titan to act as one of the zones, which is being protected. I mean, if I had my way, that'd be how I'd do it, but I'm just a content creator. I'm a normal guy. You know, I just create these videos for fun, really. But, you know, if I'm sure there must be some plans for what it is. They just haven't let us know. And maybe the ambassadors know, but if they do, they're definitely not going to be allowed to tell us. As I said, pure guess. But if you like it, you know, put it in the official Discord. You never know. Get enough speed, maybe something will happen with that. That'd be cool. Maybe I should start talking more about what the projects could be and see if I can get some, I don't know, support behind me. You know, get the community as a whole to get the projects off the ground. That'd be very cool. Now, where was the hand? Oh, there it is. Said earlier, this. Look at that. How did I miss that mold line? Black. Black hides everything. This is Black Templar black, so I don't know if I should really be using Black Templar black, but, you know, covers quite well. It's one of their contrast paints. So it's got a little bit of translucency to it, so the purple still kind of comes through a little bit. And I think it's going to be, I don't know, maybe foot. Very haphazard when I paint. Now, what do I want to paint next? What colour is it going to be? I start off with the base coat, the main base coat of purple, which is Genestealer. Yeah, Genestealer purple here. As at least that just gives me something to go from, and then I just paint how I feel. Yeah, I think one of those two shoulders. Well, that's mostly skin on there, so that's going to be one colour. So maybe that side. Maybe we'll see. Backpack. Anyone know what this actual backpack on the back is for? Because it's certainly not a jump pack. Just like power. Air conditioning unit. Lunchbox. Probably should read more of the 40k books. Maybe it tells me in one of those. It's weird, I kind of read more of the fantasy books than the 40k books. Yeah, sideways. Yeah. Now we're looking. That's all in focus. That's good. How did I get into Warhammer? Well, it's a long story. Well, it's not really. It's a very short story, but it happened a long time ago. So when I was a kid, one of my mates, he got an ogre for Christmas, I think it was. And it literally started from that, because there was a couple of us there, and he was like showing it off to us. I can't remember who gave him this ogre. I really can't. But we all thought it was a cool model. And let's just say it was his uncle that gave it to him. I can't remember who it was. He said, there's rules to go with this as well. We're like, rules for an ogre? I was like, okay, let's have a look into this. And then for me, and this is going to kind of like show how old I am, I really like the idea of the Wood Elves and the Zoats. Yes, there were Zoats back in Warhammer Fantasy Battle when I first started, as there were in 40k. For another mate, it was all about the Skaven and the Undead. And we just all of us started collecting and started having games. You know, we used his, I don't know, what would it be? Like a quarter-size snooker table to play games on. And literally, that was when I was, how old was I then? 10? Probably as old as my son is now, and he's getting into it now, my son. So yeah, basically just from seeing my first model. And I'll be honest, the first model I saw was not like this. I really wish I could find a picture. Life support, yeah, could well be life support on the back of him. You know, it was a metal model, but it looked so cool. We had a flail and a club, and yeah, it was. That's how I started. You know, that's how we all started. And we just started collecting and playing games together. And yeah, as I said, it was fantasy to begin with, and then from fantasy, when we went to secondary school, ended up with some other friends who like 40k, and I still meet up with those friends from secondary school now. Not very frequently, about once, I don't know, once a quarter, so once every 4 months, well, once every 3 months if we're lucky, once every 4 months if not, or depends what everyone's doing. It's harder when you get older to get together, isn't it? And we have a few games, and one of my mates, he's coming up with a campaign, and he's really good at painting. In fact, all my mates are great at painting. I'm probably the worst out of all my mates at painting. It's kind of disgusting, which is why another reason why I'm doing this. I want to get better. So if you ever have any tips how I can get better, apart from practice more, because that's what I'm trying to do, let me know. I think I need... Where's that going to go? The arm? I don't know if I'm going to do that arm. The hand. Then the other hand. Not sure. Let's get that bronze first. But yeah, it was basically because another friend was into it. And to be honest, if it hadn't have been for him in secondary school, as I said, my mates I still see from secondary school, they probably would have got me into it. And I've had many armies over the years. Many. A lot of them fantasy, chaos and fantasy. Kind of go down in a bit of a meme sort of history for me that I'd finished collecting my fantasy chaos army. I had it complete. It was like 2,000 points. I was really happy with it. And then they blew up the old world. And yeah, it's kind of my fault in my head. I said I was happy with my army and I wasn't going to collect any more miniatures, and then the old world blew up. And it was about that point we went across to 40k more. Where am I going to go with this? Back to the gold? Silver? Oh no, bronze. I was going to do bronze, wasn't I? But for more recently, the content creation, that was because I was, when this game started, Tacticus, one of the people in my guild, I don't know if he still plays, to be honest, because I think it was our first guild leader. He went, are you Nox, who'd done I'd done some videos on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, which I still think's going. I've not played it for years. And I was like, yeah. He said, you need to do more videos. Do videos on this. And I was like, I wasn't really thinking about doing that. Just was going to, sit down, play the game. And he said, no, do it. Those videos could be really useful. I was like, okay, well, let's see how it goes. And yeah, I started and I kind of enjoyed doing it, which is why I carried on. Now, no, I'm not the biggest content creator for Tacticus, but there can only be one for that. But I really enjoy what I do. I love the game. What else have I done? It was on the weapons, wasn't it? Yeah. I could do the front of the plasma pistol, I guess. Front of the plasma pistol. No. Right, let's do its head. Head and belt. So I need white. Actually, I don't need white for his thing, do I? Excuse me, get my arm in the way. Not very good, that, is it? How about you guys? Do you guys play? What are the armies you have? Let me know. What army would you like to collect if there was something that you've been going, I would like to do that? Because for me, the one I would like to do, and the one I probably never will do, are the Imperial Knights. I want to. I really want to. But they're quite daunting. They're big old models. Maybe after I've done a Demon Prince for this one. Or maybe I'll get one to be an ally for this army. That'd be good. What now? How do I get rid of things? Something like that. No idea. What actions? I have no idea how to do that. How can I? I'll have to look into that. A warning. No links. Blood Angels, not played because unfinished. Death Guard. Oh, have you seen the new Death Guard? Those new Death Guard. Well, I don't think it's new Death Guard models, but the new Death Guard box set looks absolutely amazing. I couldn't play, or well, I could play Death Guard. I couldn't paint them though. I kind of like. I don't. I enjoy how other people paint that grungy sort of decaying sort of look, but I think it would take. I'm not sure it's something I could do. I like keeping my paint simple. As you can see, started off purple, done a bit of black, got some gold. It's not too complex. But yeah, I love looking at people's Death Guard, because when they're good, oh my word, they're just absolutely amazing. Now the heads on these guys, on most of them, are not the official heads. Don't tell Games Workshop. As I wasn't too keen on many of their heads. So I ended up buying. Actually, were the heads? Yeah, the heads were an STL. I got a mate who's got an STL printer. Well, what do you call it? It's not STL. It's a No, not FDM. What's the a resin printer anyway. And he kindly printed them for me. So Matt, if you're out there, thank you very much. Well, that's what I was saying earlier. The Death Guard are coming out with the World Eaters. So next month, I don't know if it's going to be one or the other or both. But yeah, keep an eye on it for next month, I would say. As you can see, I don't paint very quickly. I just take my time and enjoy the whole process. Bit of time to myself. Get stuff done. And slowly but surely, you get the whole army done, and then you get a great army at the end. And then you look at someone else's army and go, oh, blimey, they're good, aren't they? Because all you see, as I said before, all you see are your own faults. Oh, made a mistake here, made a mistake there. You look at someone else's and you just see how amazing it can be. When in reality, I guess they're thinking the same about yours. It's like, oh, you've done a good job there. But I don't compare mine. I just like looking at. Looking at how people have painted their minis. I think everyone does a great job when they paint it themselves. I mean, if people don't want to paint for themselves, that's fine. There are options out there, but I much prefer seeing someone who's painted themselves than somebody who didn't. And I'm probably focusing on all these little bits a bit too much down here. I should probably just go, you know what? It's fine, just get on with it. Just paint some big bits. He's coming along nicely. Need something for his hair. Don't know what colour his hair should be. Red? Would that be cool? Maybe not red. It's too cornate, isn't it? Figure something out. Right, talking about red, there is something I like doing red. Where is it? Here it is. I do like having a little bit of colour. That's why I put the green on the tabard. There's a couple of things I do. It's like a little tassel. I always have those tassels red. So there's one coming off the plasma gun here. That's going to go red. There's one coming off his sword here. Yes, that's going to go red too. Blood Angel's red, this is another contrast paint. Blood Angel red? Yeah, Blood Angel red. And finally, just the... Hang on, where did it go? I thought we had a gem somewhere hanging down. On the back. Oh, I've not done it white yet. Let's see how it goes. Over purple, not done that before. I always try and change something every time I paint. Try something new. A couple of things I want to try, and I need to pluck up the courage, is the non-metal metallics, and I'd love to do that on a sword, but I'm not there yet. I'm not brave enough to take that leap. I'm still watching. I watch other YouTubers, and they're like, say, all you need to do is this, and you see them doing about 3 steps, and it's like, oh, there you go, non-metal metallic, and you're like, hang on a second, what? How's it gone from that to that? which is another reason why I wanted to do this. Is just, you know, there's not enough normal people painting. I'm not talking like, you know, I'm talking just good painting, not amazing, just solid. You'd like to see them on the battlefield across from you, so that when you're playing a game, everything just looks great. Now, the other thing I've been tempted to do with this stream, because I want to make these Tuesday streams a thing, I might play games as well. There's just no games at the moment. I mean, Blueprints was good, but that was like very in depth. I'd like a game which isn't so in depth, but also one that I can happily just enjoy. Now, there is a new Heroes of Might and Magic game coming out, which I might have to give a try, which is a card game. There you go, he's starting to look better, isn't he? But I don't think that's due out soon. And there's a Star Wars game out next year, and that's definitely on my radar, because it's like XCOM, but Star Wars. See, this is the sort of thing. It's like, I know with non-metal metallics, this is obviously metallic, but they can't like go like one half like that, and then the top half they do like that, don't they? So it kind of like cross hatches. I don't know. I definitely have to give it a try. Can't see it on this. Too similar. Back to the gold, I think. I don't know, gold or is the... I think that might be the bronze, actually. Ooh, can we focus? There you go. Keep on losing focus, so yell at me if you notice. Okay. I think I'll be wrapping this up soon. There's, I think it's 7, so 8 more minutes. My son and wife will be back from their guitar practice. Well, I say theirs. He's the one guitaring. She's just transport. And that might end up being too similar. But once it washes that down, it might just pop just enough. Skin on the shoulder pad, yeah, sure. That was Cadian. Where is it? There it is. Cadian Flesh Tone is what I use. I mean, that's on top of the purple, so that'll be getting a wash down with where is it? Reikland Flesh Shade, I believe I use. Because once I'm done with the base, I use washes to wash it all down. Then I need to reapply some bit to brighten it up again. But it's just the whole, I don't know, for me it's quite a calming process. I need to do something to that badge before I finish. Oh, maybe his hair should be black. Will that work? I don't know. Oh, you're welcome. Sort of thing I should probably say is when I change colour, what colour I'm changing to. People do like to know that sort of thing. This is far too watered down, but it needs to be. So I don't want to ruin everything. Okay, that's okay for the first pass. Now, black hair? Is that going to be too much black? Probably. Yeah, maybe not black hair then. I think the backpack needs it though. Yeah, because I mean, if you were to look at this, you know, I'm not sure if it picks it up, but down there, it's not quite got the good coverage of the purple, so I need to go over that again, which will be happening after the wash. But he's coming along, so I've got a bit more work to do on him, obviously. But that's what I like, you know. It's a case of nothing's ever truly, well, done, is it? There'll come a point when I'm happy with him. Where's that white? Did I put on there? No, I didn't. One thing I did, that's far too much white on there. Oh well, that was a waste. One thing I do like to do is use this Hexwraith Flame. You get a really vivid green colour on top of the white, which is something I'm trying to carry through the whole thing. But before you do that, you need to get the white. Come on, you're going to focus. There you go. On the bits that you want to be very luminescent. Search on this plasma gun. If I could add any character to Tacticus, which would it be? Any character. Okay, that's a challenge. Well, I'm going to cheat, and I think I mentioned him earlier, and say Fabius Bile for the Emperor's Children. But if it wasn't him, it would actually be who's the Drukhari? Well, the Drukhari faction as a whole, I'll be honest. But there's someone in. Is it? No, can't think who it is. There's someone in the Drukhari faction who he leads the Drukhari, and it'd be him. Just so I know that the rest of the Drukhari are coming, which is a faction again one I'd like to collect at some point, just not yet. I was quite interested in the Votann as well. I do like my Xenos. I've got orcs over there behind me, and I've painted up a load of Tyranids. So this is my venture into Chaos for 40k. But yeah, if I had to choose a character, it would definitely be
Fabius Bell, because I'm painting the Emperor's Children, or the. I think it starts with a V, but he's the like the Drakari leader. Not sure I recognise Khazarian. Khazarian. No, doesn't ring a bell. But you say he's from Angel's Death. Now, the Angel's Death, that's Blood Angels and Dark Angels, isn't it? So I'm guessing he's from one of those two. But I'm not sure which one. I mean, what was his name again? Khazarian. I mean, Raphael has to be Blood Angels. Oh, the animated show is that on Warhammer Plus? That is something I need to get myself. Oh, I need to do that as well. That's one I do for that. Yeah, that is. I've heard good things about the shows on there. It is something I should really. I'll have to binge watch them. I'll sign up for a month. I think I've got it. I think it's gone too runny now. Yeah, put too much water on. Oh, well, never mind. Oh, I mean, yeah, the Blood Angels. I will admit the Tacticus Blood Angels have got me chomping at the bit. I mean, I do like how they've represented them in Tacticus, so I think I'm with you there. And if there's a show which is about them as well, boy, maybe I shouldn't get it. At least not until I finish painting these lot up. Or maybe I'll just get one to paint. Could get one to paint. Maybe I should. Right. So I haven't got as far as I really wanted to on this stream, unfortunately. I want to have them a bit more complete. A few more minutes. They are an easy chapter to love. I mean, they're not vampires, of course. But yeah, there's something very cool about them. And it's the normal characters that I've really liked in Tacticus. You know, I mean, Mephiston's cool, but really, it was. Oh, now I can't remember his name. The Jump Pack Geezer, Lucius, and the Jump Pack Geezer, Matenio. Both of those, absolutely love their implementation in Tacticus. And yeah, painting a squad of those would be amazing fun. Dante. Yeah, I just got Dante up to Diamond 2 recently, and I think he'll stay there. I don't think I'm going to take him up to Diamond 3. So many resources. I'm trying to get a couple of the really good characters up to Diamond 2. Next one's going to be the Tyrant Guard, I think. He's always seems to be very useful. Should I go this colour? Maybe I should. Tell you what, do that. Take care, Pins. Nice having you here. Thank you very much. I will be ending the stream. Well, I should have ended it about 5 minutes ago, but I just want to get the hair on this done. And that's kind of come out the same colour. That was brown mixed with white. Never mind. Probably a bit too much white, not enough brown. Yeah, loosing to D2 is a great call. I've overloaded this brush by far too much. I think, yeah, he's definitely someone who'll is well worth getting up to that level. Need it darker. Try and get these in there. Trying to angle it, I can hardly see it myself. The light's just. There you go. There we go. Brown hair. We'll see how that turns out. If it's terrible, never mind. So yeah, well, I'm going to leave it there. I think I will back on this next Tuesday. I'm going to try and do a live stream every Tuesday, probably painting. And just thank you to everyone to come along, keeping me company, let me chat. Goodness knows what. I can't remember what I talked about, but let me talk about all the rubbish that I do talk about. So thank you once again, and